So here's my 5-day-old fermenting seed mix. It looks a bit slushy and bubbly. Sitting here in the dappled shade, you've got corn, sunflower seed, oats and all those types of sorghum and chicken feed seed. And now I'm going to just drain off the water, sit this bowl down on the ground where the chickens can get access to it, and the ducks, and see if they like to sift through it and eat some fermented food. They say that animals are attracted to fermented food because of the probiotics. So just like it's good for humans, animals know it's good for them too. So I'm wondering if this experiment works, and giving or feeding the odd fermented feed to chickens is actually beneficial. Anyway, we'll see how it goes. Maybe I'll just pour it out and let this water drain off and just see how it goes. It's like a porridge. It doesn't smell terrible, it just smells a bit yeasty. I've just put this Besser brick over the top, just so that I'm actually here when the chickens are around. They're out free ranging at the moment and out of the pen. So I've just stuck that over the top so that when I'm here I can lift it up and see if the chickens treat it differently to, say, other feed that's maybe on the ground and that's spilled out from a feeder. The rooster is getting very excited about this, and now see how he's raking it? He knows that this is a good feed. This is the fermentation stuff. He's telling all the girls to eat it. I'm making a bit of a mess of it. I've deliberately threw some scraps around, some of their favourite scraps like lettuce and a bit of wheat biscuits and some apple and stuff. And you can see the hens are still going for the fermented grain, really lapping it up. Now that's very interesting. There's also dry grain that's dropped out of the feeder that no one's touching. The fermentation and the lactobacilli or whatever is fermenting on that grain must be something they know is good for them, because that rooster got very excited. And he's even eating it himself. He usually just stands back and lets the girls eat it. But yeah, he's hooking in. So, I mean, I guess the grains being softer because they've been soaked in water or fermented make them more palatable too. You see the ducks looking in there thinking, oh well, I wouldn't mind getting into that, but they're probably a bit scared of the rooster. Yeah, so I would have to say the fermented grain is a success. Now, I remember vaguely reading this a few years ago that fermented grain was good for poultry or chickens. I think the articles are specifically about chickens and fermenting grain, but I can't remember where it was or what it was. But yeah, I've always wanted to give it a go, and especially now that I'm into fermenting food for myself and my family, into it more, and reading more about the health benefits. I think I'll do this more often for the hens and the big fella. Just to follow up on this fermentation experiment, this is the next morning, and there's absolutely, I cannot see a scrap. I cannot see one grain left of that fermented grain that I'd done. In contrast, you can see all the grain underneath this feeder that the hens pull out looking for their favourite grain. This mix that's underneath this feeder here that's untouched is exactly the same mix that I fermented for 5 days and that I threw on the ground here in a big pile and has been completely consumed, and it's all gone. I reckon there's definitely something to it. You know, I don't think it'd be a bad idea to get a whole 20 kilogram bag and whack it in a big drum and ferment it and then feed it to the chickens. Yeah. Anyway, I just thought that I'd wrap the video up with that final observation. I mean, none of this is proven, but I just thought I'd put this video out there just to put it out there. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye for now.